Show on the road. Oh, I need to go on. I can go on. All right. You ready?
Yep. You want to review the Texans' new uniforms?
Oh, the Broncos have new ones too. We're gonna have to break them down.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Lions have new
I saw
uniforms as
that. I just
well.
started licking my lips.
Oh, we already have a list. We have a list of 3 uniforms already. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right, get started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I am your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
We finally made it, Chris, to draft week. We made it.
Oof.
It's been a long time coming. We've talked about how long and lengthy this process is, but it's finally here. We're doing. You might be wondering, we might be missing some NBA basketball right now, which is fair. You can criticize us. We are definitely missing it. Don't worry. We've been watching. We have our notes. We're saving them for later. I have 2 exams on Thursday and Friday, so we won't be able to do any other draft stuff until after the draft. So this is it. This is our final mock draft, all NFL, all mock draft, like we've been doing all year, or I guess all off season. This is our 3.0, our final one. So
I don't know how you feel, but
I
this
brought my
whole
Aggie.
process I've tried to limit my draft intake because both of our teams are in this situation where we were eliminated from the playoffs so long ago. We've been talking about 3 quarterbacks for like 4 months now. And now that it's this week, I've kind of let myself back into it. Holy shit. It's like if you take a break from alcohol for like a month or two and then you have like a couple drinks and you're like, whoa, like this is hitting me a lot
It's like coming back
harder
quicker.
than it
Yeah,
usually does. That's how the draft
your draft
content
tolerance
has
went
hit me
down.
this week. It's way down. And I just got sucked into the Jaden Daniels stuff yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm really glad that I haven't been letting this consume me. Because it's just too much. We did way too much.
It is too much, and I went. You'll see in the mock where I go, but I've gone in a complete circle. I feel like a 360, not even a 180, just a complete circle.
I actually
From where
went
I started.
super chill with mine. I have 1 trade and it's at the end of the first round.
I have 1 trade that's big and then 1 trade that is it's pretty mediocre. But let's just get right into it. We're gonna go
Right.
number 1. We're not even gonna mention. Let's just not even bring it up. It's not gonna not be Caleb Williams. We've already talked about the implications that Caleb Williams has on the Bears. Listen to our other mock drafts if you want to listen to that. So go with number 2, Chris. Your final decision for the Washington Commanders comes down to who?
I'm back on Jaden Daniels.
All right. All right, we're back.
And I don't know what's going on with the agent, but to me, I've I decided that it's all noise and that it doesn't mean anything. But basically, what happened is they had a visit with the quarterback prospects. I think it was actually a bunch of prospects, and
He
but they
went to
brought
Top
in like the
Golf.
4 top quarterbacks, and they all went to Top Golf. And for some reason, it really rubbed Jaden Daniels' agent the wrong way, and he tweeted like an emoji, and that just set off a like rapid fire. Jaden Daniels does not want to be here. Like he's gonna Eli Manning his way out of this. They shouldn't draft him if he doesn't. Yada yada yada. And I was like, oh my god, like we don't need this right now. Everything's trending in the direction that they're gonna draft him for better or for worse. It appears to be him over May. And now a week before, there's all this drama because they wanted to have a one-on-one meeting. And also, I I saw an article today that was like Drake May calls Commander's draft interview the coolest thing that he's seen.
I see.
I'm like, that's just his press team trying to get ahead and be like, oh, well, Drake May, like
He loved it.
much lower maintenance, just
Loved it.
along for the ride. Like,
All right. Does that not concern
but
you at all?
anyway, no, it means nothing.
It means
It literally
something.
means nothing.
This means something.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
What does it mean? Tell me what it means.
Means he's
It's not even
scared-
him. It's his agent.
Why? All right. Yeah, it's his agent. But like the smoke, when there's smoke, there's fire, right? It's got to come from someone.
Not in the draft. I don't think so.
That's fact.
What do we say?
The draft
It's
is just
smoke screen
screen.
season.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
just
it is.
All right, but
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't concern me at all. And I've
So you-
worked through this. It's been eating at me.
okay.
Don't drag me back down.
No. We got to talk through it. Why we're here. It's why we're here. We're on the mics together. I was made to combat you on this. So why?
You want Jaden Daniels? Is that why you're trying to like?
No. You'll
Okay.
You'll see what I do. I am just curious. I want to know. I want to run through it with you. So, like, if it's so, are you denying that he just doesn't like that? He doesn't like it at all. Like, so you're saying he did like it. He did enjoy it. His agent's just full of crap.
No, he might not have liked it. It's not his choice though.
Okay, that's where I've
And
always
he's,
come down
like-
to, where it's like it's not his choice. It's a draft.
Yeah, and it's fine if he didn't like it. That's like him not liking going to Top Golf and not getting more one-on-one time has nothing to do with his chances of becoming a good quarterback.
I don't know. What does that tell you if a guy doesn't like Top Golf? That tells me I don't want to be a friend.
I don't
with
think
that guy.
Top Golf is the issue. think
Would
he wanted
people
a
show
more,
up to
like-
to Jaden Daniels' birthday party? They cleaned out his
Oh.
locker at Arizona
Drafted.
State. Yeah, they cleaned out his locker when he transferred to LSU. He doesn't like Top Golf. Does this guy have any fun?
So now we're just attacking his character. It's all business. I want all business. I think Brady would have liked to go to Top Golf. With
I think he would have
20 other
loved Top
guys.
Golf. I think he would have fucking
No,
loved
he
it.
would
You know
not
why?
have.
Because he would have been the
would've-
best
he
Top
would
Golf
not.
player there. And he would have proved, hey, I should be going number 2.
Jaden Daniels probably didn't like it because he probably sucks at golf.
Yeah,
Like
well,
if I had to
he's-
play with
was
a bunch
he
of other
scared
guys
of
who were
competition?
better, I mean, not on the football field, maybe
I don't know.
not on the range.
All right, so
I mean, if I
On a
threw you
scale-
like if I threw you in Top Golf right now, and like if you were getting drafted, say there was like a podcast draft, and they were taking
Yeah,
one
yeah.
guy out of these 20. They're like, oh, like we're just gonna hang out and hit some golf balls. How would you feel about it?
see, like I would
If
try
you
to
saw Drake May step out there and rip a 400-foot-yard drive.
But I'm using it to
Like,
my
oh,
advantage.
but
I
I don't
know
like
my
Top Golf as
strengths
much.
here. I'm getting a couple drinks. I'm buying them wings. I'm talking them that way. I'm using my other skills there.
I think Jaden Daniels was getting a couple drinks at Top Golf.
I mean, he's the only one old enough.
That's good.
Thank you.
More
Thank you.
starts, more experience.
Thank you. Oh, that he's older. I thought that was
No, yeah, it was a good, yeah. It was a good.
All right, due to the noise that I heard, I'm taking the guy who likes Top Golf and likes my team, likes the mojo already. I don't want someone who's gonna push what I'm working with here. I just got a group of guys together and really worked hard on the offseason to make a new program here in Washington. not going to get some bum kid who thinks he's too good for Washington. You get a kid who wants to be there. He wants to grind it out. I'm taking Drake May.
Is your reasoning actually this agent stuff?
All right, my reasoning for them taking him in this mock draft, I was looking at the noise. It
Mhm,
seems like
yeah.
yeah, I'm throwing it in there. I'm putting it in there as some little tidbit. And I was listening to the Ringer NFL show, and they had a great point. I don't want to steal it because I completely just listened to them and thought about it. They traded Sam Howell, who was like best friends with Drake May, to the Seahawks. Could that be an indicator? Like, hey, we're trying to get this other guy in the building. We don't want him to be like, well, Sam should probably start this year because Sam's a great guy.
No, I think Sam Howell sucked, and so we don't need him anymore.
I don't know. It's just something to think about there. But I have him taking Drake May. I really don't know what they're gonna do. There's still JJ McCarthy buzz.
You know what the draft odds are on DraftKings?
Daniels is up, right? He's
minus 400.
Wow.
Yesterday it was like minus 175.
I was gonna say I thought it was like
Should've gone
minus. Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah. So.
It makes the rest of my mock draft interesting.
Or whatever
It's
worth.
3.0. Let's keep it going. Where my 180 has landed, or 360 has landed. I'm all the way back. I'm going to go ahead and start with the number 3 pick. And the New England Patriots are taking Marvin Harrison Jr. and saying, screw the quarterback position. We will figure it out in another draft. I don't like any of these guys. Jaden Daniels is too small. Drake May is too Mitch Trubisky. And just give me the guy that I know is going to be good. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm walking out happy. I don't care who's throwing to him. Have it be Zappy for another year. Have it be Brissett for a year. Don't care.
That's not a bad option. You're taking May though.
Rattler in the 3rd round.
I hope
You need to start coming to terms with it. You can't go back 2 days before and start calling it Trubisky.
Okay, fine.
Like, this is the
fine.
chance where you
All right,
could've
so we end up
completely
with
sold
Josh
yourself.
Allen. Ugh, boo-hoo. Look, I wanted
Where
to make...
on that spectrum does he lie? Because that's it right there. I mean, there's probably somebody worse than Trubisky, but
No, I mean, that's a pretty good floor. If your floor is Trubisky, you're pretty trash.
Yeah.
So like that would be the normal distribution scale. The 5% on one side is Josh Allen, and the negative 5%.
yeah. So what's right in the middle?
What's right in the middle would be like
Sam Bradford.
Oh, I don't know, a little bit like 10%'s like Herbert, right? Maybe you get like 30% is like it's like a Trevor Lawrence type, where it's like he's been solid the past 5 years, but nothing special.
Trevor Lawrence right now.
All right, I mean, like I'm not going to be upset with Drake May. I have come to those terms that I won't be upset with Drake May. I will be upset.
You can't
with
be throwing out the T word then.
The Trubisky word.
You can't be saying that.
Coming on Thursday, I'm gonna be ordering a jersey and just crying, sobbing that I'm getting another number 10 patch jersey. That's gonna be so ass in 2 years.
It wouldn't be shocking if they traded out of it. You think that's a possibility?
I think it's definitely a possibility.
Just like,
I don't see what you get that's gonna. I don't know. I don't see what you can get that. Like, I guess you need a lot of pieces, so like you can just get
more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the value of more. But I don't know. Like, you've been looking for a wide receiver for 20 years now. Just take the guy that's staring at you right there, please. So
yeah,
you haven't taken Drake May.
If I were a Pats fan, I wouldn't be. I do, yeah. I wouldn't be upset about that at all.
No, and I would that first night I would just be like, screw it, we'll figure it out later. We'll sign.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's not Kraft's agenda. They have a puppet of a GM right now, don't they?
Pretty much. I think the whole organization's a puppet. The whole organization is a Kraft puppet, and it's he's come out and is like apparently it's like tarnishing Belichick for other teams. Like, it's just not good looks for the Patriots.
It's very toxic.
Which is why they will probably take a quarterback here, because Kraft will not leave this draft without his guy he could put on posters, which makes sense. But you could put Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
on posters and just let him cook with Jacoby Brissett and then eventually Spencer Rattler.
The thought of trading back and just getting more guys
I don't like it.
is like kind of no. The way I look at it is, at least from my team standpoint, is they're so bad at almost every position that if we just spend the next 2 drafts like trading back and getting as many guys as possible, and then
Eventually,
in 2
one of
years,
them's got to hit.
and we go get a quarterback.
Yeah, the blueprint.
Maybe that's the blueprint.
It is, but it's
And
not.
I say that, and I know that if they did that, I would be pissed Thursday. But that's like the long-term view, where if you allow yourself to actually think about it and not just get caught up in the quarterback hype, it's not the worst idea in the world, right?
But the issue is, if you do accumulate assets, you do get better as a team. You don't end up with the second pick, hopefully. You don't end up with the third pick, hopefully. You're stuck in
That's
that
okay.
like 15
But then you're in a
range.
spot where you can spend your draft capital to move back up.
That's a
What you're
good point.
doing is you're basically, if you take, I feel like I should do like a study on this, but I'm sure it's been done before. But if you take, let's say, like a 3-year window, and the first 2 years you're accumulating more draft capital by trading back, and then the third
And
year
the
you
third year,
trade up.
Yeah.
In the end, it balances out, right?
It
All you're
should.
doing is putting your rookie quarterback, in a better position to succeed.
Yeah, with younger players.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a good take.
And then
It's-
when you have to extend people, you have to extend the non-quarterbacks,
first, and you get to choose which ones are
and
good.
you have and then you have your quarterback on a rookie deal.
Look, it makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense. It's what a lot of teams have done. It just like when you're one of the GMs and you're the owner, you got to have, or I guess not the owner, but when you're the GM and the coach, you have to have the faith in the owner that I'm going to be around for 3 years to execute this
Yeah.
plan. And I think the issue with a lot of these teams is that the coach knows that if he doesn't pick the right quarterback, he's going to get fired. The GM knows that if he doesn't pick the right quarterback, he's going to get fired. And eventually it just leads to, well, I need to pick a quarterback or I am going to get fired. And I think that's what happens.
Because that
with
is
these
the
teams
other.
a lot.
If you wait to do it and you get it wrong, then you're the Jets,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you would either go get an Aaron Rodgers, or I don't know what you do. So it's
It's an interesting dilemma.
a two-sided coin.
Yes, it's an interesting dilemma because you never know when you're going to be back up there. You never know what the value of the quarterbacks are going to be, how much you're going to have to trade up or trade down in that given draft. But like if the Pats get 11 and 24, 23, like I guess they get an offensive tackle, they get some defensive player or wide receiver or something at 11. And it helps the team, but I feel like the team is more stuck they were than if they were like if they got Marvin Harrison. At least I have that blue chip piece that I know is going to be good.
Yeah, and you guys are in a slightly different position because the defense is good.
Yeah,
Like you have
hope
one side of the ball that's competent.
I believe so. Yeah, now without Belichick, we'll have to see how the defense operates.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I believe so. Like I believe those players on the defensive side are good. You're right. We're missing we're missing those 3 key pieces, which are like a good, solid offensive tackle, and a good quarterback, and a good weapon. So like we're just missing basically the offense.
Yeah, right. Just the entirety of the other side of the ball.
Yeah. So I guess like with Marvin Harrison, you can think this is the piece that will help a rookie quarterback. This is a piece that will help a veteran quarterback that comes in, and it'll make our offense better. Try to get an offensive lineman later. Try to get a quarterback later. I don't know. There's arguments to both sides. I agree. Speaking of trades, actually, well, I go ahead, pick your number 4, because I have a trade here.
I have Harrison at 4.
Okay.
I have no funny business going on at this
All
point.
right. This is mock draft 3. I just tried to get a little wild. I went with the Raiders moving up
Oh, okay.
to get. So Jane Daniels is now fallen. There's been a lot of reports that his agent loves
Oh.
Vegas. And
When he played for Antonio Pierce, right?
oh, did he? At Arizona?
There's some connection there.
I know there's a connection with Vegas. I
Uh,
know that he said that he's wanted to play in Vegas before. They move up to the Cardinals here. They give up. I just have them swapping first round picks. I'm sure there's a second first rounder in there, a couple seconds, or a third or something. But just for the 32 mock draft, they're just switching spots right here, and they come up and they get Jane Daniels. They said, "Screw the bridge quarterbacks we got. We don't want to do a season with Gardner Minshew. We
they
don't
got
have to."
Minshew, right?
Yeah. Let's just run it with Jane Daniels and see if he's happy here.
Yeah, I mean I could definitely see that happening. If he gets down to 4, like they're gonna be offering the world, I think, to go get him. Problem is they're also gonna be competing with the Vikings and maybe the Giants to get up there.
I agree. It will be hard to leverage whatever picks they have and maybe a player even, but especially because the Vikings will have 2 first round picks this year to offer them,
Mhm.
so that makes it tricky. I don't see what the Giants could possibly give up to move up. I know we've talked about it. Nor do I see them having a plan for a quarterback if they did trade up for a quarterback. So that's why I went with the Raiders here.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate that. So Antonio Pierce was never the head coach, but he was the recruiting coordinator and linebackers coach at Arizona State for a little bit. While are the Wizards on back there?
Yeah,
Going on.
I have some NBA highlights going on. It looks like it's Celtics Wizards. They're up 28-11.
Thanks. Wizards actually played the Celtics pretty well this year. Again, or regardless. So there was overlap there, but he's never his head coach. But that would be like the storybook. Like, oh, Jane Daniels loves playing for Antonio Pierce, but Antonio Pierce is a defensive head coach.
Yeah, so like it won't
not-
matter. Yeah, he just likes
Even
to
if they're
recruit.
buddies, then
All right, Chargers, number 5. What do you have?
all right. So last draft, maybe even last 2 drafts, I had them trading back with the Vikings. I have them staying put here and replacing all of the weapons that they lost and just taking Malik Neighbors, which is the first time I've done that. But
That's what I did.
they need some like Herbert. Really?
Yeah, it's the board ended
They
up
need
that way.
somebody to throw to.
Yeah, it's a simple pick. If you think about it this way, they could trade down, try to get a Brock Bowers, try to get another offensive weapon, but there's not going to be as many good offensive weapons as they will get at 5. And Malik Neighbors is a great piece, a complementary piece to not getting Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the second guy off the board. Him and Romaduze are the guys there. Pick your poison for which fast wide receiver that gets open all the time you want. I just went with the LSU guy that's compared to Jamar Chase the most. Get Herbert his version of Jamar Chase. Get him a guy that he can rely on, who will stay healthy, and that he can chuck the freaking football too.
I think also like a lot of people will want to take Alt here just because Harbaugh, and they're like, oh, Harbaugh just wants to run the ball, like beef up the line. But if you look at their roster, I feel like they need a wide receiver more than tackle.
Agreed. They have no one to throw to. They have
Literally
Josh Palmer. Yeah.
Josh Palmer
All right. Number 6.
and Hayden Hurst, right?
Yeah, Hayden Hurst.
The other guy.
The New York Giants at number
6.
6.
Am I up? There you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have the 3rd straight receiver off the board. I've
Romaduze. Nice.
Watch
All right, so do I. I thought it was
You
going
have
to be
that too?
I thought it was
Nice,
going to
okay.
be switching it up because
What's that?
the Bears aren't taking him at 9 this time. But
If you have the same guy
7,
the
8,
same
9.
next two.
Oh god,
7, 8, 9. All right, we'll see.
it might be chalked.
Yeah, I mean the Giants are in a similar boat where like they're probably going to get a new quarterback at some point unless Danny Dimes has a resurgence this year, which is possible. They kind of just
He's
wrote him
definitely
off
gonna have
after
a
last year.
resurgence.
He got
Like, come on,
hurt.
let's go. He's definitely
Right,
gonna
yeah.
have
I
a
mean,
resurgence.
like his level of resurgence is not like a coming out party. Like he had that and he got that extension, but everyone knows what he is. But just returning to that year, that level of success is possible.
But he
they
needs
need
someone
somebody
to throw
to.
Yeah.
So I saw like a ranking of the best places that a young quarterback could go, and they had the Giants above Washington, and I was like, are we just putting no stock into the fact that they have no weapons on offense?
Yeah, apparently.
And
I
like,
don't know
oh, well,
what
like
that
they
is.
have Darius Slayton, and I was like, what?
Darius
They just
Slayton has
lost their
been on the
best offensive
trade block
player.
for like 3 years now. They don't even like Darius
Who
Slayton.
was they have like Richie
got-
James?
They have Wandale Robinson that they drafted a couple years ago, and they have Jalen Hyatt who they drafted last year.
Jalen Hyatt, yeah. I was like, are we really like? I know that Commanders aren't the best situation ever, but you have a number one receiver,
And a
Have-
number 2 receiver.
an okay number two, who's had a down year, got an okay tight end, good running game. I know, I took that personally.
Yeah,
This team,
that's a
they're
shot.
joke.
That's yeah. The Giants are definitely more of a joke, and they have no position. We talked about it earlier to move up and get a quarterback. They're just going to be stuck in this no man's land. Great, now you have 2 quarterbacks that you have to have a battle, and you're paying $140 million. I wonder which one's going to win. Get him Romaduzzi.
Do you
try
think
to
this?
get
I
them-
thought about giving them JJ.
And then what do
You
you
consider
do?
that?
Like, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I think it would be malpractice for them to get a quarterback.
I'd be so pumped. They took JJ.
Oh, if they took JJ, it'd be great for everyone in the division. Jumping for joy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him to get
Relax.
Romaduzzi. Romaduzzi's nice. I like that guy.
No, yeah, I think all 3 of these guys at the top are legit.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
this would have to be the first time ever that there's been 3 receivers in a row in the top 10, right?
I can't
I didn't know if
remember.
there's been 3 receivers in the top 10.
Yeah, I can't remember a draft
That's
where
in
it's
a
this
row.
heavy at the top for receivers. Because it's funny, receivers don't come
That
back
happens.
around until way later in the draft. Like, it goes a good
when
20
you get, like,
picks.
Brian Thomas could be mid first round, and then there's like a bunch at the end of the first, beginning of the second, wherever those guys end up falling.
All right,
But
number
yeah.
7. I think we have it together. Joe Alt.
Yep.
All right, we've talked
That-
about this.
I wonder what
too.
the odds are for that one.
That's
But yeah,
that's a
he's
good.
right.
Those
That's
are
right.
if you want to bet on the
Joe
draft
Alt is minus 160.
to go number 7.
Go 7. Yeah.
It's a good bet. I don't care what the line ends up being. That's a good bet. If he's there, the Titans are not passing up on him. Him and Peter Skoronsky on both sides
Agreed.
would be 2 great tackles there.
The
right.
Leafs will love that.
One of my favorite picks in the top 10, number 8. I'm going with Quinton Mitchell again.
Okay.
This is a bet.
Really? That's not a reach?
No. This is a bet that I've seen get thrown around on Twitter with a bunch of draft guys that I trust. That there's real heavy talks with him going number 8 to the Falcons, and his
Plus
odds
1600.
his odds to go top 10 at least would be plus 350.
Okay.
I told my mom to bet on it. She's in Maryland where it's legal. I told her to bet on it, so that's how much faith I have. If I have a faith enough to tell my mother, I have faith enough to tell the podcast audience to bet Quinton Mitchell top 10 plus 350. If you want to take him at
I have
8
it at
plus
plus 475.
475 is even better, and plus 1600 at the Falcons pick. I love that there too.
Okay. Interesting.
They need an outside corner. He
Um,
might secretly be the best one in the draft. Might be Risha Sum because he's from Toledo. but don't sleep on the kid.
I don't hate it. I'm just trying to find the odds for some of these other guys. Okay, at 8 to the Falcons, I have Byron Murphy, who is another guy who climbed in my mock drafts. I think there's real
Oh yeah, no, there's.
buzz about him
I agree.
being the first defensive player taken.
I've heard that buzz
And
too.
he is plus 1100 to go 8.
Ooh, I like that as well.
There's not like a clear consensus as to who the best defensive player is in this draft, which I feel like is not normal.
No, it is. It's not normal. Dallas Turner's had a lot of buzz all season. It seems like he's starting to fall in this process a little bit.
It's almost like the more time passes, people just like the less that you can watch the guys play football, the more you start to second guess yourself.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
the more
somebody
you
could end up
see.
getting a steal with Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I would agree there too. Like there's especially with all like the draft nerd guys, they really
Oh,
are very particular on edge rushers. Where they're like, oh well, he's good in like 2 downs, but he's not good in 3 downs.
Yeah.
Could rush the passer, but he's not like he
Doesn't
doesn't
have
have
enough
swim.
burst.
Doesn't have any swim moves. Doesn't have enough push moves or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird draft lingo when it comes to the edge guys. So I would agree
Oh,
that
yeah.
that a team could be getting a steal there. I have him going, funny enough, number 9 while we're talking about him to the Bears.
Oh, interesting enough.
Yeah.
I have Dallas Turner at 9. I think that makes sense. Get
Oh, so we have the same
another
pick.
piece. I thought you had Byron. I thought you meant Byron Murphy.
Oh no, sorry, I meant Dallas Turner.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we do have the same pick.
Yeah, pair him
we
up
have?
with Montez Sweat. They have a young defense.
Mhm.
They got Jalen Johnson extended, who's their breakout cornerback this year. I don't know if they signed anyone else in the offseason on their defensive side, but it seems like it's been heavily focused on the offense. Normally, we like this pick being Roma Duze. You pair it up with the rookie quarterback, but
Mhm.
he doesn't fall on this draft for either of us. And you get a solid guy off the edge to help out with Montez Sweat.
And you could I guess you could go O-line here just because you're drafting a quarterback at 1, but
Mhm.
they're not in that bad of shape up front.
No, they are.
They went tackle last year in the first round, so I think it would make more sense to go edge rusher.
Completely agree. All right. Also, I do want to say good pick. We kind of went over your Byron Murphy pick on the Falcons. Great pick there. I do think he has a chance to go. Number 10. Super interesting pick. I heard a draft take today that they should look into taking a quarterback, which isn't a terrible choice.
That's not a terrible choice.
No.
That's the Packers did when they had him.
Yeah. And that was 4 years ago when they had him.
Yeah.
That was before the ACL, and he was 40 years old.
So he's at most he's got 2 years left, right? I think he has 3 or 2 years left on his contract. A year after that. That's even if he gets through.
He's got to get through
these
this
2
year.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's not the worst idea in the world.
No, especially if JJ falls, he's 20 years old. You wouldn't want to get one of the older guys. Maybe you try to get someone in like the 2nd or the 3rd. Still wouldn't hate it.
That's what I'm thinking because I think there would be outrage if they didn't take a player
that could help Aaron Rodgers
now.
Yeah,
right. And that's why I took Brock Bowers.
No, and I took Brock Bowers too, but that would also
Joe Douglas is under so much pressure to win, and he's gotten a lot of credit for the roster that he's built, but there's been no results yet.
Yeah,
and if they go 7-10 again this year, then he's going to be on the hot seat, and Salah will be gone.
Yeah, this is a pick that is a job saving pick here. They needed to get a weapon or an offensive player to help out Rodgers. I also went Brock Bowers. Oh, excuse me, because they do need some help with their tackles. They could use another tackle, but Brock Bowers, as we've seen, is a blocker. Can get physical with the defensive ends on the other side of the ball. Work over the middle. Try to get Aaron Rodgers' trust. Try to work with him. They need a tight end. It's almost a match made in heaven. They got a bunch of wide receivers this offseason. Or at least they got Mike Williams, and now you can get some guy on the inside to help him out.
Lazard.
Lazard's always there. Love Lazard. All right. So I'm guessing 11. JJ McCarthy.
That's where I have it. So that's interesting because we had the last two drafts. We both had him going to the Vikings.
We both
Last
had him
one we
trading
had them
up.
trading up to get him, and now we have them just sitting here. I think it's very possible that they don't have to make a big move to get him. Right? Like this is my 3.0. So this is what I'm going to bat for. I think it's what happens.
I agree.
Like I don't think it's too obvious for them to trade up. Like they have that other first round pick. They're in more of a position to succeed with a rookie quarterback than anybody else. I think they just waited out though. Don't give up anything else.
I think everyone else, I think everyone else in the NFL knows that they want to trade up, so they're gonna god offer.
And teams might be outbidding against them when they're not even bidding that heavily.
Mhm.
That could happen with the Raiders when it's like, oh, we have Minnesota on the other line. Minnesota's just like, yeah, no. Oh,
Yeah,
good. You guys
and I
just give
think
up more.
like if
We're comfortable at 11.
in my scenario where Jane McDaniels falls, it's like I didn't like they've made it clear that they kind of want JJ and they think JJ or Drake May is their guy. So they didn't see the necessity to move up to then try to take Jane Daniels, who they haven't, they haven't seen any links to them at all, really. So now you can stay back, you can keep the other first round pick. All these other teams like think that you want to trade up, and none of as we talked about, like the Giants are going to take JJ, the Chargers aren't going to take him unless John Harbaugh wants to put his money where his mouth is.
That would be hilarious. They just
Trade
ship Herbert out of town.
They can have the number 3 pick. I'll take Herbert.
I will also take Herbert.
Yeah. Just like, hey, you think JJ McCarthy had the best pro day of all time? Go ahead, take him. But like the Giants aren't
And
going
then
to
if
take
you
him.
trade Herbert for 2, then you have 2 and 11. And 11, 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. That's franchise changing.
It is. You get him a wide receiver too. They should just take Roman Wilson at 5. Then Blake Corum with their next pick. Just recreate the whole team.
Blake, I was just looking at like these random DraftKings odds, and Blake Corum to the Chargers is plus 190 on DraftKings.
190?
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, JJ McCarthy though fits with Minnesota. They don't have to trade up. Honestly, this would be a luxury for them. They don't have to trade up. They don't have to do any of this stuff. And then they can work with the rest of their picks to beef up the roster around them.
I think best case scenario here is you're getting Alex Smith, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of a higher ceiling.
Yeah, you're getting an Alex Smith. Maybe even a Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. And like you'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just had Kirk Cousins,
I haven't take that.
and he when he was healthy, won you a bunch of games. He might have looked fraudulent, but probably the same thing with JJ McCarthy too.
Probably. Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy's
Roster isn't at that level, of course, but got another first round pick.
Yeah, those are all great.
That's a
great
I would
spectrum
be
right there.
like, if I'm the Vikings, as much as I don't support JJ McCarthy, I would be pleased. I'd be pleased.
Oh, extremely pleased.
Content, even. Not
Right.
running around naked. But
This leaves the Broncos in a tricky situation. They didn't move up in either of our mocks. They're at 12 now. JJ McCarthy just got picked. They just traded for Zach Wilson. They have new uniforms that are terrible. It's really not looking good for the Broncos.
don't spoil it. Things are gonna get slow, and we're gonna have to evaluate all these uniforms.
Don't worry. All right.
So,
Fine. People know that my opinions on their new uniforms are low now. Spoiler alert for when our uniforms rankings drop, which they will. Don't you worry. They're going to drop.
And way too much. talking about anymore.
We're gonna spend a whole half episode. It's gonna be a big waste of time. Get ready. I have them taking, long story short, Teron Arnold, cornerback, boost up the defense. They're kind of lost cause here. They just need some pieces to work with. They're stuck. These picks here, 12, 13, 14, 15. They're all just kind of like they're just kind of building the roster together. They're kind of stuck in this middle ground.
Yeah,
Um,
get like the worst teams.
yeah, they're just like mediocre teams that are
Saints.
just they kind of stink.
We're in Saints country now.
We are, yes, and the
The only one
Broncos.
that's like a little exciting is the Colts.
Yes, the Colts are exciting. I'll give you that. But like we're in Broncos Saints country, Raiders country. Still for you. Just not good
Yeah.
areas that we want to be in.
It's not fun. This is the worst part. I had him going defense as well and taking Jared Verse. Just
Okay,
valuing that edge rusher position more highly than cornerback.
I like it.
I've read some good things about Jared Verse.
Funny
Can't tell if
enough,
he's going to be like a early teens or if he's going to be in the 20s.
he's going number 13 to the Cardinals here. Cardinals trade down from the
okay.
Raiders. Now they get
I think
Jared
the
Verse.
Cardinals, like, I can't imagine the Cardinals are willing to sacrifice Harrison to get Jared Verse. I guess they get another first round pick out of it, but
You gotta
expect
expect.
wild
Yeah, it would be
sacrifice.
it would be a wild side. Well, in this scenario, Marvin Harrison's already taken. He's already at 3.
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, so like they
Yeah,
sacrificed
fucking
Malik
yeah.
Neighbors for Jared Verse, basically,
Yeah, that's
which
fair.
still is a debate. I would say.
And they
for sure.
and they do come up later in the first round. I assume you have them taking a receiver there.
I do.
Okay.
But it's just to boost up the defense. They need some
But,
help. Need
Yeah,
some
I mean,
guys
they're
there.
another team that just needs help
Yeah.
across the board. I don't hate it.
All right. How about your Raiders 13? It's your first Raiders pick.
Here's where the tackles start coming off the board.
All right.
Pick your poison. I have Fuaga from Oregon State going to the Raiders.
Okay. Nice. It's funny. The run on tackles have shifted on my board through each mock. It's been like there's a run up here, the first mock, then it was like a run down here, and now it's like even
Yep.
later. All right. This is no surprise that I'm a major Saints hater. I gave them my least favorite player on the board. And it's Latu, the edge.
I knew why do you hate him so much?
I just don't. I don't know. I've heard nothing.
I read
good about this
his
guy.
profile on Daniel Jeremiah's site. He's like who I trust the most for whatever reason, and I was like, I don't understand what your problem is with him.
Everything I've heard
Like,
about
he's
him
the
is
most
just like
skilled edge rusher in the draft.
yeah, but like I heard
just
like
very
he's like
raw.
yeah, he's like the master of or the jack of all trades, master of none. Like that's what I've heard about him. He's just like he's not particularly
Not what
great.
Jeremiah
At
said.
that's just what I've heard. I've heard that like he's very raw. He hasn't had a lot of production on the field. Not my cup of tea type of guy.
Dude, the jack of all smells.
Maybe he's the jack of all. Well, he'd be going to the jack of all smells, which is Derek Carr. that boy's ass. I just don't care about the Saints, so I'm gonna put a player I don't care about with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're gonna go hand in hand and walk off into the sunset together.
I hope that he's like defensive player of the year.
I hope and I hope he goes to the Saints and they turn it around. That would be great.
All right, at 14, I have the Saints taking Olu Fashanu.
Okay.
That's another one where it's like no one will care.
Our Saints fans gotta hate us every time we come to their team. Just like they're the Hawks. They're the Hawks.
They're probably the same way.
Huh?
They're doing like draft prep, and they're like, "Oh, who are we gonna take? A offensive tackle or a defensive tackle?" Doesn't matter. We still have Derek Carr and 35-year-old Michael Thomas and no Sean Payton.
Oh man.
I'd rather be the Commanders than the Saints right now.
Oh,
I
I'd rather
don't say
be
that about a lot of teams.
no, like I think the Saints are probably
That's
one of
totally could
the last
lose.
teams I'd want to be. Like, I guess that's no surprise if you've listened to me at all, but they might be 32 out of 32. They're just so irrelevant now without like
Uh,
they have nothing. They have nothing that's going for them. Like Kamara's
yeah,
old.
no,
Like
I
he's not even
agree.
exciting
The
anymore.
Superdome's cool. That's like
Super
it.
yeah, they play in a dome. Cool. All right. Let's go on to a real team here. The Colts. I have them taking Cooper DeJean, pick 15.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Don't hate that. I've been going a little later. Um, my pick for them hasn't changed. I still have Brian Thomas.
Okay.
I think that's been like that and alt have been constant
Been your
for
locks.
3 drafts now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the cornerback position. They have, you know, Jalen Jones. They have Kenny Moore, who's good. Amir Speed. Like
But
there's
he might project to be a safety, right?
yeah, he could play both. He could do both apparently. So I haven't seen anyone on this roster that is that I would like be like, oh, he's a great safety or he's a great secondary player. Besides the cornerback that I just named, God, Kenny Moore. So yeah, they need some secondary help here. So I'm gonna give them that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hate that.
No, I don't hate it at
I
all,
don't hate
and I
it.
don't hate the wide
I've
receiver
just
pick.
been yeah, I've been so sold on Brian Thomas going here.
It would be fun. Be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean they need a second option.
Oh man, did my mock draft just? Oh, here we go. I thought it. Thank God. I thought it
16
was set.
Seattle.
This is where
Looks set.
Byron Murphy is for me. Their D
Gotcha.
line.
I think
They have two guys on
ahead.
the D line. It's Jonathan Hankins and Cameron Young. It's their only two T tackles, or not on the whole D line, but just D tackles. It's the only two T tackles on.
Wait, what about
on the roster?
isn't Leonard Williams still in?
Yeah, he's
Seattle?
technically an edge, I guess.
Oh.
So he didn't count in the roster as D tackle. And Brian Murphy is a D tackle. Eat up that center, or that nose tackle position. Russ Pasher in the NFC.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think we've had the same conversation with the Seahawks each time where it's like they need help in the trenches on both ends.
Mhm.
So I had them going offensive tackle. Troy Fatano from Washington. I was gonna learn how to pronounce these guys' names and I forgot to.
I think we're good.
I think I said
Fatu
I would.
Anu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. We've been pretty good on him. We've been pretty good on him.
Alright.
I don't hate it at all. I mean, this is your run of offensive tackles. This is how it needs to go.
Yep.
And
Three
they
or four
definitely will.
picks.
My run's coming up, and it's starting with the Rams here. They missed out on Murphy. They could still get Johnny.
Oh,
Newton.
what?
They wanted to. Huh?
How'd we get
Oh, my bad. You're right. I forgot about this. So the Jaguars are sitting here at 17. They get a call from the Rams who want to jump the Bengals and take an offensive tackle, and they come up and they trade up for the Penn State tackle Fashanu, get a nice beefy left tackle. The Rams had
there?
they have 5 O linemen on the roster, and one of them's a guard. They just need some guys there. They need some real heavy hitters. And if they want Stafford to stay upright and continue to battle in the playoffs, they're going to need him protected.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate that. It's a funny thing about the Rams picking the first round.
Right?
They just never do.
I
It
know.
would be funny for them to move up. Just be like, more picks. See ya.
Yeah, just burn the picks. We like this guy. He's still here.
Yeah.
That being
yeah,
said,
I definitely don't hate that.
there was it was like afterwards I made this, and then I was listening to more draft stuff in prep for this pod, and like there was someone brought up like, oh, the Rams are gonna be like F these picks, just trade all their first round picks. So I was like, maybe it's not like the Rams to trade up, but it would be like the Rams just to Be like screw like our middle round pick. We'll just give you like all of our third and fourth round picks. Just here you go.
Mhm.
Screw the middle round picks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I have here. Who do you have the Jags taking?
I hate it. I think this is a too much of a perfect situation for them to trade down, and that's because Arnold is still on the board.
Nice.
A position of dire need at cornerback for them, and they get the best one.
Their corners are the only one that is like worth a name is God, I think his name is it's one of the Douglases that was on it's on the Ravens last year. Or sorry, Ronald Darby, that's who it is. There you go. Ronald Darby.
Yeah, and Ronald Darby's like 40 years old.
Yeah, he's 30. Tyson Campbell's okay. But they need some secondary help for sure. They have a guy named Gregory Jr. I heard today, like his name's Gregory Jr. And their defense is pretty good. They have some good players on all sides besides in the secondary. So I love that pick for them, taking the best corner off the board. Or yeah, I guess in your case.
Well, not for you.
Nah, not for me. But
Yeah.
All right, number 18. I have Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny is coming to Cincinnati. I thought it was
I like this pick. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is another one I might bet them taking a D tackle.
I kind of wanted to go receiver here, but it felt too early.
Mhm.
Get one of these guys towards the end of the round. He tackles another position of need. Iron Murphy's gone, but Johnny is still there.
Yeah, I'm all there with Johnny too. I think the Bengals definitely need a interior pass rusher. If they can get him or Murphy, they'd be great. They gotta attack Mahomes, baby. They gotta attack from the inside, attack Mahomes.
Yep.
Get after him. All right, number 19. Now the Jaguars. I have them taking Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. They get to trade back, still get a cornerback. The best one that's still on my board. And I thought it was a match made in heaven.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. Obviously, because I also have them going corner. I still have the Rams here, and I have them taking your boy, Laiatu Latu.
Okay. All right,
Get some more help.
Yeah.
What? Who'd you think that was?
No. I was curious on my boy. All right, Latu. Yeah. He's like my Bizarro boy.
They need to replace. Yes. Yes. They need some help. Need to replace that pass rushing that they lost with Donald retiring. So, and even though he lines up on the edge, Donald was their best pass rusher by far.
Yeah. Any way you can try to replace that, recoup it in the fraction of that you're going to be able to get it. That's a good pick there. All right, tackles are coming in. I have the Steelers taking J.C. Latham.
Oh yeah, me too.
Alabama. Nice. All right, where
the odds there?
I know.
I could also see them going center here.
Yeah, I can see them go interior.
Powers Johnson. Is he the guy from Oregon?
Yeah.
It's a really cool name. He was doing that, or Graham Barton, someone on the interior, but I just had him going with Latham.
They need OT help for sure. Definitely. I last time I had them taking Amarius Mims to go with Broderick Thompson. Yeah, Broderick Thompson, who was their Georgia
Jones,
tackle that they
I think.
took last year. Jones. Yeah, Broderick Jones. You're right. So I wouldn't have hated that either. It's funny. It's funny that we both had CJ Latham, considering I still have two tackles that have already gone on your board that are yet to come.
That is interesting. He was the best guy on my board.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought, I don't know, the Steelers seem like a guy, like they like the Alabama guys. I don't know. Just seem like
a Latham team.
Yeah, they seem like a Latham team. The Dolphins, I have them taking Fuganu out of Oregon State. He can play tackle if Armstead is still a little injured. He can play inside if he's not. They need some help protecting Tua. making sure that offense can run smoothly. And this guy's still out there. Could be a top 15 pick. Ended up still going at 21. So
Yep, I like that. I'm also going O-line here and taking Graham Barton, who's played a lot of tackle at Duke, but started out as an interior guy and could play, I think, anywhere on the O-line, honestly.
yeah, so same mindset. They can play inside or outside. I like that a lot too. All right, 22. This one I feel like I've gotten. It's been close to this, I think, almost every time, but it's Kool-Aid McKinstry. They need a cornerback. It's the last one in the first round projected that I have on the board, and I'm going with they need someone who can cover a wide receiver, a tight end, running back, anyone.
So you had corners going earlier than I did, so I still have some guys on
Yeah.
the board, and I made this pick last time too, and it's Cooper DeJean
Nice. I think that would
because they have
that's their
needs
dream.
in the whole secondary. Yeah,
I think so. Because he can play anywhere in the secondary. They can move around who they already have. If some of their older guys aren't playing the position that they need them to play, putting Cooper DeJean there, he'd be a luxury.
is it
for them.
DeJean or DeJean?
I think it's
I've heard
DeJean.
both. Okay.
I don't know. I've only heard DeJean. Oh man, we still have so many picks left. So many O linemen still on my board. That being said, Minnesota Vikings are helping out their new franchise quarterback by taking offensive tackle Troy Fatunanu out of Washington.
Fire.
This would be
Um,
talk about a dream scenario. They get two guys fall to them
Yeah,
that teams have looked to trade up for.
yeah,
So,
seriously. I would love that if I was a Vikings fan. I had him going defense, taking Quinion Mitchell, another guy who in my draft has fallen pretty far. You had him going in the top 10. I had him going at 23. I think they'd be very happy with this too.
yeah, I think this would be a great pick for them as well. Give Brian Flores some other body to work with in the secondary, so he can make up those cool zone reads that he does. But yeah, I think that would work out a lot. I think he definitely, I don't honestly, I have a blind faith in Quentin Mitchell. I don't know why. It's just like just a hunch that he's gonna go top.
But he's going to get drafted, or that he's going to be good when he gets drafted?
I think more of the hunch that he'll be drafted in the top 10
Got it.
than if he's going to be good or not. I don't know how to judge corners. It's hard to judge corners. I mean, think about it. Your team traded up for the wrong cornerback, or
I
not
don't
traded
wanna
up,
hear about that.
but
No, they didn't trade up that year.
no, they picked right in front of, like, the fact that both of our teams went back to back on corners, and they're drastically different players is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well,
not to
one
bring up
was available.
a sore spot.
Availability is the best ability.
There you go. That's true. It's a great point.
Forbes 1 comes on a 0.
All right. Cowboys. Offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Amarius Mims.
Yep. I
They
got to.
they lost.
All of a sudden, it's a need for him.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
Funny,
this
like,
great
line has been
Dallas
so
O
good for
line.
so many years. But
I know, and it's been one of those things where it's like a constant, where it's like, well, the Cowboys O line's gonna be good.
yeah,
They just always.
that's gonna happen to the Eagles soon too.
Yeah. Now that Kelsey's
Where
gone,
all of a sudden it's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute.
yeah, and they don't have that centerpiece that like can play a bunch of different positions and rally the team around and everything. So they definitely need some fresh blood in there. They haven't done anything in the offseason. They could go in a lot of different places here, especially on the defense. But got to protect your asset here, and the only asset they really have is the offense. So got to protect Dak. Got to make sure you can throw the ball, and they're going to be in contention, whatever your contention is for the Cowboys. But they're going to be there. They're going to be in the conversations. Probably fighting for the 1 seed and second in their division. But definitely need some offensive help. Packers. I have them taking Graham Barton, interior O line.
That's such a Packer.
Yep. Yeah, he is a Packer.
Um, I have them. I think I had them going tackle last time. I have them going corner here and taking Nate Wiggins, who I still have on my board, which also seems like a Packer name.
Yeah, I could see Nate Wiggins being a Packer for sure.
I think Cooper DeJean is who they would really like here, because they just lost Darnell Savage, but get help in the secondary regardless.
Maybe they make that tricky or that cheeky trade up that you had him do last time.
Yeah, 4 spots.
Yeah. Yeah, they could definitely use some help on cornerback. All they really have is Jair Alexander. He's getting old.
Mhm.
I mean, not too
Yeah.
old. He's still 27, but
Is he?
he's getting up there. Like they drafted Eric Stokes out of Georgia 4 years ago. He never did anything. That was a first round pick. Really, anywhere on the defense they could go on this. But they also need.
I mean, they were
some
getting
fresh
shredded
blood.
in games last year.
Yeah. They made Danny or not Danny Dimes. They made Tommy DeVito look like Tom Brady in that game.
Yes.
But they do also need some offensive line help. Elton Jenkins is getting up there in age. I don't know who Sean Ryan is, but he's their guard apparently. I don't know. A nice stable guard to help out their franchise quarterback. Can never hurt.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate that.
All right.
That's enough of linemen, right? We're done.
No.
One more, actually.
No, baby. No, we're not done. Because in pick 26, the Tampa Bay
Never
Buccaneers
ends.
are taking Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. Interior O lineman / center. They just lost. They lost Ryan Kappa. I think a couple years ago. They're losing their veterans in the upfront. They got to protect Baker Mayfield. And now they get a beast of a name, a 300-pound dude named Jackson Powers Johnson. I don't know how you couldn't get excited about that pick, no matter what team picks him. Got to be
Oh
excited.
yeah,
about the
Powers
300
Johnson.
pounder.
Yeah. Do you think is there a chance that he's an Eagle?
Yeah, I think there's a big chance he's an Eagle. That would suck.
I could see that. I could see Pittsburgh. I could see here.
Yeah, I think
I
those are the
had them
big three.
going. Yeah, I had them going edge rusher and taking Chop Robinson here, who borderline first round pick, but I think it's probably what they need the most.
I like it. Pair them up. I mean, they just they've lost a lot of veterans on that side of the ball as well. They just lost. God, he had Zach Barrett, Shaquille Barrett.
Yeah.
So that'd be an easy replacement for him there. Try to get some new, fresh blood on the defensive side too. This is another team where it has a lot of vets in positions that are good, so they could go in a lot of different places to try to young up the team.
Mhm.
But I could see them going either way here. All right,
Yeah.
to take a break from the offensive lineman, these Arizona Cardinals are going to take Brian Thomas Jr., who is still on the board for me.
Oh man,
And
that was really far.
yeah, so they still get an elite wide receiver with trading back from 5 or from 4, and someone that can grow with Kyler Murray and help him out.
Yeah, I love that. I forgot that he was still on your board. I had him taking Harrison earlier, so obviously they're not going to double down on receiver, and I have them going with Kool-Aid McKinstry. Another top tier name in this draft at quarterback.
Great name.
Kind of talked earlier about how this defense could go any position really.
Yeah, and I think
whatever the top defensive name is on the board.
I think a lot of mocks have had them going with the Marvin Harrison Kool-Aid duo, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing if they come out of there looking like that. A top cornerback prospect, the top wide receiver prospect. They'd end up being one of the winners of the draft if they did that. So I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. The Buffalo Bills, most obvious wide receiver pick in the draft. I could see them trading up, getting a little desperate if one of their, like maybe Brian Thomas falls a little bit, getting desperate. But they're taking Adonai Mitchell out of Texas, the 6'4", really fast dude.
Right on.
Just let Josh Allen
I
sling it
gotcha.
to him. Who needs Diggs? Am I right?
I wonder what the odd if you could bet like what are the odds that the Bills will take a receiver. And luckily
Oh,
enough for
it's on there.
them, they
It's definitely on there.
it is.
Yeah, because
They will
you
have
can do
their
like team picks this.
yeah. But they'll have their pick of the litter. There are a ton of guys who project to be taken in this spot in the draft or a little later.
Who do you have them taking? Also Mitchell.
Same guy,
Okay.
Donnie Mitchell. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I think this
it's
would be a
minus
perfect fit for them.
280 for them to get receiver.
Yeah, it's high.
Yeah.
Lions here. I had them taking Mitchell last time. I wouldn't say a luxury pick because they definitely have needs on their team, but with such a great draft class last year, they have some wiggle room where they can make some mistakes if they wanted to. I have them taking Chop Robinson out of Penn State, pair him up with
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that.
God, what's it from Michigan? I'm totally blanking on his
Hutchinson?
name. Well, yeah, Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Little yin and yang action on each side of the edge. Wouldn't hate that at all. And his name's
Yeah.
Chop. Like they want to chop people's kneecaps down.
No, he sucks. Chop sucks.
I've heard it. I have also
Scumbag.
heard this that he stinks. Why? Do you know
Um,
like what are they
not-
saying of
not
why he
loyal.
stinks?
I just know he left Maryland for Penn State.
Oh,
He's
okay.
too small too. I think
I did hear that he's a little small, and he's a lot of
he's traitor, scumbag, loser. Doesn't help.
All right. Who do you have them taking? Let's move on from my pick.
I
Getting
have
so hostile.
Michael Penix Jr. going here. And I have the Denver Broncos swooping back into the first round and taking him.
Whoa!
I said earlier that the
Whoa! I love
that
it.
the Broncos can't really trade up, but if it's just to sneak back into the first round, I think it's possible. I don't think they have to give up too much to do that. I think they take the risk. Like if there's gonna be a team that takes a shot on him, like this seems like the team to do it.
I like the fit. I like the trade up in the late round. As you said, they probably only have to give up maybe this year's second, a fourth, something small. They have already given up enough assets on terrible quarterbacks. They for some reason got Zach Wilson in the building this week.
He's such a
so-
good Bronco.
Oh, I know.
I loved that trade.
They're like, oh, remember Drew Lock? Let's just do it again, guys.
Yeah.
Just do it again.
Exactly.
I would love this pick here, even though I'm not the biggest Penix fan. I do think the kid can sling it. I think if the guy can stay healthy, you can't deny that he has a freaking cannon. And I think he'd look good in a Broncos uniform. I like that a lot.
I'd be stoked, honestly.
Yeah, that would save their draft here. I remember, who do you have them taking at 12 again? I forget.
Jared Verse.
Okay, so you get a stud on the defense, and then trade back in, try to get your next franchise guy. You get the fifth round option, or the 5th year option at the end. I like it a lot. It's a little risk, high reward situation for the Broncos here.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
And honestly, this could be like I know they were thinking about trading Cortland Sutton. They were thinking about they've already traded Jerry Jeudy, but maybe Cortland Sutton's in this deal, and you don't really have to give up a lot at all. Cortland Sutton and a couple fourths, maybe a third. Call it a day. Wouldn't hate that at all.
Yeah.
All right, the Ravens. What do you got?
Ravens. I have them taking Keon Coleman out of Florida State.
Ooh, I like that. I think that's it. I think that's he's a sleeper wide receiver. He was like really high right at the beginning of the draft process, and he's one of those guys that like fell to guys like Lad McConkey and a couple other guys. I don't see why. I like the Keon Coleman pick. I think he would be a great wide receiver for the Ravens here. I had them taking Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, the tackle.
Yeah, the tackle.
Yep. Try to protect Lamar a little bit. Their tackles have gotten way worse. Ronnie Stanley can barely stay on the field. Let's protect Lamar as much as we can here.
Yep, don't hate that. I have him going next to the 49ers.
Nice. So I went interior
Who
offensive
don't
line.
really have any needs, honestly.
No, they don't have any blaring needs, especially if they don't trade Ayuk in this draft.
Mhm.
They won't have any glaring needs at all. Um, I went interior offensive line. You could go outside offensive line. As we said, that last play in the Super Bowl, if Brock Purdy doesn't get knocked in the face by an unguarded defender,
Yep.
or not the last play of the Super Bowl, but the last offensive play for the 49ers, he completes that pass and they win the Super Bowl in overtime there. Or actually, no, they don't win it there, but at least they get the touchdown in overtime.
Yep.
All right, and then I had to go homer pick at least one more time.
Leggett.
And Xavier Leggett XL is coming to the Chiefs. He's coming to Kansas City. He's fast. He's big. He can get open. He can break apart the defense, break the top off, as the announcers like to say. He would be a great fit for Kansas City here, and he's a guy. I mean, he could very well go in the first round. There's a lot of wide receivers here. He could go mid to late second. I could see that too, but it's like almost a match made in heaven here with Xavier Leggett going to Kansas City.
Yep, I'm going receiver too. I think Lad McConkey is such a Chiefs name.
I like Lad McConkey. I just don't. I don't see how he could possibly be better than Xavier Leggett or Keon Coleman or there's some people like
I'm
projecting
only
him
going
to,
ahead.
Yeah. No, I know you do, but there's people that think that he could be in a top 20 pick, and I don't.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would be like
I'd
if the
definitely
Bills
be
took him,
surprised.
be like you're drafting a wide receiver too here. Like I could see the Chiefs could make him a wide receiver one. I could see that. But
Mhm.
for most other teams, I see him as like a really solid wide receiver too.
Mhm. Yep.
But I don't hate it though. I do think he's that's a great Chief name, and I feel like that's one of those guys. Like if they get him pick 64 in the second round, get Lad McConkey there. Everyone forgets about him for a little bit, and then it's like Lad McConkey's catching 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Mhm. Yep.
And like he's from
Me and
Georgia,
Austin hates
did
him.
nothing but win there. Now he goes to the Chiefs,
Yep.
he does nothing but win there.
Yeah, that sucks.
It would
It's not fair.
it would make perfect sense. So that is our mock draft 3.0. But before we leave, we have our wise guys of the draft, guys that won't be going in the first round, but are players that we have kept an eye, that we're going to keep an eye on in our day 2 and day 3 watches. And I have some guys here, and I also Ethan is normally on for one of the draft episodes, and we couldn't get him on sadly, but I have his picks for guys that he likes. So the first one, let's just run through his first, and then we'll do our own. The first one that Ethan likes is Malachi Corley, wide receiver out of, I think it was Boston College. No, Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
This is 5'11", 210. He had 1,000 yards. He had almost 1,300 yards. His last season. This season, he had 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Doesn't seem too bad.
Ooh, you know who his NFL comparison is?
Who's that?
Deebo Samuel.
Ooh, okay. Can he rush too? Let me see. No, he doesn't rush. I don't know. All right, then why was he Deebo?
I don't know.
But I don't know. I like Ethan.
Teams will see him as a perimeter running back since he basically had so many lateral handoffs in their passing game.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he can
So
be
lateral
more than that if
handoff.
you asked him to do more.
All right, cool. So a little gadget guy Ethan's giving us here. Don't hate that. Don't hate that at all.
Weapon.
Bucky Irving out of Oregon, the running back.
Okay.
I wish I did more research before on these guys because I did research.
No, this is good. I like this.
You like this? All right.
Yeah.
Give me some about Bucky that you like.
Oh no, I just meant I like the doing research on the fly.
Oh yeah,
I thought Bucky Irving was supposed to go pretty high though. Like he's an electric player, no?
I thought so too. Past 2 seasons, both 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns last year. Um, he could catch the ball out of the backfield too. It's funny, the running backs in this draft class are, they're like non-existent to talk about. Nobody ever talks about it.
But there's good running backs.
I know,
Like I feel like in past years, Blake Corum would have been a first round pick.
I 100% agree.
It's kind of insane that he's
I think
not.
the guy out of Texas, that running back's pretty good. Marshawn Lloyd out of USC is pretty good. There is good running backs in this draft. It's weird that no one talks about them though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
But
how
yeah,
the running back
honestly, I
position
don't-
is, I guess. Nobody really
It
talks
is,
about running
yeah.
backs.
But it's weird. Like we saw guys actually get paid this offseason. Not a lot, but it seemed like there was at least some demand for running backs.
And then the last one is Ben Sinnott out of Kent State. All American, all Big 12. I've seen this kid. He seems pretty good. I don't know if he can block or anything, but he's had some good receiving games. Yeah, 49
What's the name?
catches, Ben Sinnott from Kent State. He's a tight end. Where's number 34? I think that's baller. 34 as a tight end is baller.
You like that one? I don't know if I like 34 as a tight end.
This makes me feel like he's a grinder. Like, I see 34 and I'm like, oh, that guy grinds. These are Ethan's
Yeah, I
guys,
think of
though.
more like a fullback.
Want to give him a little shout
Oh,
out.
from Kansas
Yeah,
State.
Kansas State, K-State.
Yeah, I like this guy. He looks like a beast.
Looks like a
I'm
ball.
all in on this. I'm all in. Yeah, looks like a mauler is what he looks like.
Yeah, dude. He's in this picture. He's got a big ass arm brace too. He just looks ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I actually know about. I'm gonna get the USC guys campaign out of the way. Marcellus Dial, late round cornerback, will play. He'll be a stud on whether team snags him. He'll be playing in the NFL. He'll I don't know if he'll be an all pro or anything, but he'll be good and solid. Covers the guy well, gets interceptions. Solid cornerback there. Spencer Rattler, my guy. Gotta get him on there.
I knew it was coming.
Slept on. He had a lot of heat coming up as a player. Had a lot of limelight on him since high school. Pushed all that past. Found a new home in South Carolina. New place to call him home. New family to fall in love with. Now he's ready to ball. He's humble.
Fall in love with your family. That's right on brand for.
He's the Gigi Jackson of this draft. Literally the Gigi Jackson of this draft.
No, yeah, he is.
He's gonna be a baller. Former number one prospect. Gonna be number one pick at Oklahoma. Didn't work out. Figured it out in South Carolina. Now some late round team is gonna snag him up.
Did he? Like, how much did he actually figure it out?
Okay, his games at South Carolina, when the offensive coordinator let him ball out and let him air it out, he was a baller. He was able to figure it out. He was able to sling the rock. I think our offensive game plan, our offensive line the past 2 years were terrible. He was able to overcome that in a lot of situations. There were some times he wasn't able to overcome it, but I think our offensive staff did him a disservice last year, and I think he's a better player than what we were able to muster out of him. But if XL goes the first round, he produced a number one wide receiver. He helped out with Juice Wells, who went to Old Miss this year, but he was injured last year. The year before, he was projected to be a first round pick, playing with Spencer Rattler. This guy, he makes people better. He's a baller, and so I gotta have a spot for him there. Not South Carolina
I can
guys.
argue with you.
Not South Carolina guys. I have Cedric Garay, a linebacker out of North Carolina. just a little bit about him. This year, first team All ACC, Buckus Award semifinalist, first team All ACC last year, 121 tackles. I mean, this guy's a baller. This guy, there hasn't been a lot of talk about the linebackers in the draft. Give me I'm looking
Yeah,
for
that is
guys
true.
in these later rounds who are on their conference first teams, who are making plays that nobody else is seeing, and he's my first one there. And know anything about him? The first time you hear about him?
This is the first time I'm hearing about him. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're definitely gonna be the first.
What's the
time
name?
you hear
Cedric Gray, right?
Cedric Gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
This next guy you definitely haven't heard of. His name, Mohamed Kamara. He played for Colorado State. He was in the Senior Bowl. He was a captain. Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, second team All-American, for FWAA and Phil Steele. I don't know what that means, but first team All Mountain West, CBS midseason All-American. This guy's out there. This guy's out there. He has played 6 years. So that's probably why he's lower on the list.
And he's only 250.
13 sacks though. 250.
Yeah, against the Mountain West competition.
Look, you got to play the guys in front of you. I'm just working with what's in front
He
of
has
me.
lights out production over the last couple of seasons.
Lights out, baby. Lights out.
Should be his nickname.
He had a touchdown
Lights
last
out.
year. Don't know what from, but he had a touchdown. 93 solo tackles. Ooh. 179 total tackles. Man, get this guy in the building. 5 forced fumbles, 3 forced fumble recoveries. Man, 2 pass deflections. Give me this guy. This guy needs to be on the team here. All right, and then last linebacker that I have.
Yeah, you have a bunch of guys.
Yeah, well, I had to get the South Carolina guys out of the way, and then I have 3. Actually, no,
I have
do
2
a lot of
guys.
All right, well, I went a little deep. Jalen Ford, senior out of
That's good.
Texas, 6'3", 240, linebacker. He was All-American third team in 2022. He was Big 12 first team selection this year. Another Buckus Award semifinalist. This guy's a baller. He had another 100+ tackle season. 10.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, forced fumble, all this year. Give me these guys. These guys sound like dogs. These are the guys I want. This is this year's who did you had the guy from Memphis who plays on the Chiefs, had that fumble recovery in the Eagles.
Bolton?
Yeah, this is my Bolton. Jalen Ford this year
Did
is
have
my Bolton.
Bolton.
This kid's a dog.
What's his name?
Jalen Ford. Or Jaylan Ford.
Jalen Ford. That's a good.
2 A's.
Yeah, that's a good
2
name.
A's.
I like it.
Thank you. And then I have Ray Davis from Kentucky. He's a running back. I'm not going to get through his stuff. I just like how he played against South Carolina. And then Jaheim Bell is a gadget guy, played for Florida State, also played for South Carolina at some point. Can play tight end.
70% of the guys are loosely affiliated with the Gamecocks.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8, so half of them. Hey man, I got to do the best of my abilities here. Who are your guys,
That's
Chris?
fair. Well, I guess I'll start with my Maryland guy. I think there's only one guy that we have projected to get drafted this year, which seems crazy. But Bo Broad, our strong safety, made 75
I heard about
tackles
Broad
this year. 85 the year before. Could be a Jamal Adams type, perhaps.
Yeah.
Made 11 tackles against Michigan, so that's
Ooh.
pretty impressive. I don't know much in terms of evaluating the play of safeties outside of looking at a box score, so I'll leave it at that. But one of the better players on our defense.
I was gonna
obviously.
say a lot of tackles indicates that the rest of your defense was pretty trash. Because then he has to.
Well, he
get to
also
the
wasn't
safety.
like, yeah, he also wasn't like a cover safety really. He can do both.
He was like the
he's-
last.
he's
He
in
was
the
the
right
last line of defense. That's what he was.
Yeah. Right. But he also like he would play up in the box some too.
I was
I
looking
mentioned
at
his name
at Bro.
earlier, but you liked him?
Yeah, I was looking at him earlier. He's gonna be one of my guys, but I figured you were gonna have him, so I didn't want to. Yeah.
Blake Corum, I just don't understand. Like, I would gladly take Blake Corum, right?
Yeah.
Like, why could he not be Jonathan Taylor?
No,
He's
yeah,
just
why-
smaller.
Yeah.
It's a
Honestly.
bowling ball.
And-
27 freaking touchdowns.
Yeah, that dude is a monster, and I like that he went back to Michigan to try to win him a national championship. He did it.
He's a
he's-
winner.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's a grinder. Seems like he's a great teammate. Seems like everybody loves him, and I don't know why. I don't know why he's not getting talked about. Even as like the first
I don't know.
running back taken, he's not even getting talked about.
But I would love him in the second round. No, I guess not really on my team, but I would still gladly take him. But they kind of have that. It's one of the positions that they actually have.
You know the
Um,
Ravens are going to need like 5 running backs anyways. They should just take him. Like I know they have Henry,
No,
but
I
like
don't want.
now that he's a Raven, he's gonna get
He's gonna get hurt after 2 carries.
That's true.
I actually like Blake Corum. And then the last guy that I have is Ricky Pearsall out of Florida.
Ooh, the wide receiver, right?
Will line up.
Yeah, that guy's a baller.
I feel like he could be Cooper Kupp.
That guy's
And when I was reading about him, the reason that I picked him is because his player comp was Tyler Boyd.
Oh.
And Tyler Boyd is my guy in
love Tyler
fantasy.
Boyd, yeah.
Also, just like safety valve.
Mhm.
Like Tyler Boyd's the man. But I feel like he could become that player like right away. He also had that one crazy catch this year. You just look up like Ricky Pearsall catch.
Dude,
There's
he
a whole
also
article about how he's like trying to move past his famous catch and actually just be appreciated as a football player.
he completely killed South Carolina when they played here. Tore him up every chance that he could, and the game winning touchdown was him. It was like a 75-yarder, and he just takes it all the way. Like, this dude's a killer.
Yeah, dude's a baller.
Yeah.
Almost 1,000-yard season, which for college,
Which
season
playing
is
for a
pretty
bad
impressive.
and it's playing for a bad
65
Florida team.
catches. Yep.
Yeah, that dude
So
rocks.
I'm all in on Ricky. I would gladly take him in the second round too.
Love it. Those are our wise guys of the year. And I think that's all we got, right? Draft Thursday. This is it, fellas. This is it. Next time you'll be hearing from us the first round of the draft and probably the
Both
second
have
round.
new quarterbacks,
Yes, we will both have new quarterbacks.
presumably.
And we'll see everyone to recap it all. Can't wait. Probably Saturday morning will be our next pod. So look out there. And thank you all for listening.